If you're a man over 60 and your erections aren't what they used to be, don't rush to blame aging. And don't point fingers at your testosterone either. The real culprit behind your slipping performance might be a sneaky vitamin deficiency that no one ever told you about. One forgotten nutrient could be the reason your circulation has slowed, your passion has dimmed, and your confidence feels like it's slipping away. And here's the kicker. Most doctors don't even test for it. I'm Dr. Mohit Kara, and for over 30 years, I've helped men naturally revive their energy, circulation, and intimate lives. No pills, no surgeries. After seeing thousands of men, I noticed one thing popping up again and again. This one vitamin, completely missing. But the moment we fix it, blood flow improves, erections return, and life starts changing fast. Now, I get it. This sounds almost too easy. That's exactly why you rarely hear about it. Pharmaceutical companies can't slap a patent on a vitamin. But here's what they don't want you to know. The science is clear. This nutrient can actually reverse the stiffening of arteries that blocks blood from reaching the places you need it most. Today, I'll show you how it works, how to get it, and why men in their 60s, even 70s, are seeing serious results. Stick with me, because I'll reveal the exact dose, the best form, and the easy morning routine that could start changing your life by tomorrow. Before we jump in, if you're ready to reclaim your blood flow, energy, and intimacy after 60, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss another science-backed tip made for men just like you. And if this message hits home, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. Your feedback helps me tailor these videos just for you. All right, let's start with the truth that most men over 60 never hear. If your blood flow is slowing down, your hands or feet feel cold, or your erections aren't as firm as they once were, it may not just be age. For many of my patients, the real issue is a hidden deficiency that quietly hardens arteries and blocks circulation where it matters most. That silent saboteur? A powerful but overlooked nutrient called vitamin K2**. When I think back to the thousands of men I've worked with over 3 decades, one thing still surprises and honestly frustrates me. Most come in thinking their low energy, poor circulation, or fading erections are just normal aging. I get it. That's what they've been told for years. But what I've found, again and again, tells a different story. These men aren't broken. They're deficient in one critical nutrient. And it's not testosterone, not zinc, not even something you'd see on a typical blood test. It's vitamin K2, and it plays a massive role in both your circulation and your intimacy. Here's why. K2 has a vital job. It keeps calcium out of your arteries and puts it where it belongs, into your bones. Without it, calcium begins sticking to artery walls, making them stiff, narrow, and clogged. It's called vascular calcification. Think of it like old pipes getting clogged with gunk. Water still flows, but slower, weaker, and eventually it stops. Now imagine that happening in the plumbing that delivers blood to your heart, and yes, to your erections. You get the idea. That's why I check K2 levels in nearly every man over 60 who walks into my clinic. And when we fix that deficiency, the results speak for themselves. Better blood flow, stronger performance, renewed energy, and a boost in confidence that feels like turning back the clock. But knowing about K2 is just step 1. The real transformation happens when you understand how this vitamin supports erections at a cellular level. And for that, we've got to talk about something most men have never even heard of: nitric oxide. And trust me, once you understand this part, everything changes. *2. The science behind erections and K2. Over the years, countless men have looked me straight in the eye and asked the same thing. Doc, what's happening to me? They're not just talking about low energy or a bad week. They're talking about something deeper, a creeping fear that their body is slipping out of their control, and no one's telling them why. So I always start with the truth. An erection isn't about willpower or even just desire. It's about blood flow. That's it. No blood flow, no function. That's how the body works, and it's non-negotiable. And this is exactly where vitamin K2 plays a major role. When your arteries get stiff from years of hidden calcium buildup, they can't expand. They can't let blood flow freely. It's like trying to push water through a garden hose filled with concrete. It just doesn't work. But when you bring K2 back into the equation, something powerful happens. K2 activates a protein called matrix GLA, which literally sweeps excess calcium out of the arteries. Once that happens, blood vessels regain their flexibility. And with flexibility comes flow to the heart, the brain, and yes, to where you need it most when it comes to intimacy and connection. I've seen men in their 60s, even 70s, who thought they were past their prime suddenly experience a return of natural function. Not because of some miracle, but because they gave their body what it was missing. It's not magic. It's biology. But here's the twist. Blood flow alone isn't enough. Your arteries also need a signal, a chemical cue that tells them, open up. That signal is nitric oxide, and its relationship with K2 may be the most overlooked key to restoring performance. Let me show you why. *3, the real patient story. Mark, 6'8". I'll never forget Mark. He was 68, a retired firefighter from a quiet town in Ohio. When he first sat down across from me, there was look in his eyes. Not sadness exactly, but something heavier. A kind of quiet surrender. He said, "Doc, I'm just not the man I used to be. My body doesn't respond like it should. The fire's gone. Not just in bed, but in life." I could feel the frustration in his voice. Not loud, but the kind that builds up when you've been chasing answers and finding nothing but quick fixes and empty promises. Of course, he'd tried the little blue pill. It helped sometimes, but it felt mechanical, forced. He didn't want a temporary boost. He wanted to feel like himself again. So he ran some tests. His testosterone? Borderline. Not great, but not disastrous. But then we saw his vitamin. K2 levels were practically non-existent. That told me everything. His arteries were likely hardening, slowly choking off the blood flow that once came effortlessly. I started him on a high-quality K2 supplement, paired with vitamin D3 to boost absorption. Within 6 weeks, he told me something had changed. His mind felt clearer. His hands and feet felt warmer. And yes, he felt stronger where it mattered most. He smiled and said, "My wife noticed before I did. I didn't think this was possible. I thought that part of life was just done. It wasn't done. It was just neglected." And Mark's story? Far from unique. I've seen dozens, hundreds of men like him rediscover what they thought was lost forever. Not with drugs, not with surgery, but by supporting their body's natural blueprint. Now, here's the warning. Even with better blood flow, some things can still hold you back. Hidden blockers. They sneak in as medications or daily habits, but they can quietly undo your progress. So before they rob you of your results, let me show you what to look out for next. *4, the dangerous medications that may be blocking your progress. One of the hardest conversations I have with my patients isn't about what's missing, it's about what's getting in the way. And the surprising part? Most men have no clue it's happening. See, even when we start improving circulation through K2, better nutrition, or natural therapies, some men still feel off. Their progress drags. The energy creeps back, but not how they imagined. So I start asking the right question. What medications are you taking? That's when the fog lifts. Let's start with statins, those cholesterol-lowering drugs. prescribed to millions of men over 60. While they do lower cholesterol, they also interfere with key pathways that vitamin K2 relies on. And get this, they can blunt your body's ability to handle calcium correctly, meaning more calcium ends up in your arteries, not your bones, making things worse. But statins aren't the only roadblock, not blood pressure meds. Acid blockers, certain antidepressants, even common over-the-counter calcium supplements, especially when taken without K2, can all subtly mess with your circulation, hormone balance, or nutrient absorption. They're like stealth blockers working against your goals quietly, but consistently. Now, I'm not saying ditch your prescriptions. Let's be clear. But what I am saying is, you need to understand how these drugs might be silently sabotaging your progress. Because sometimes, the problem isn't you. It's the chemical environment your body has been dropped into. I've worked with men taking 5, 6, even 7 medications who only started feeling truly alive again after we adjusted what wasn't helping them anymore. But here's the hopeful part. Even if you're on these meds, there are still natural ways to protect your blood flow. And one of the smartest places to start, your daily nutrition, especially the vitamins you're probably missing without realizing it. Let me walk you through that next. 5. Where to find K2 naturally, and why most diets don't cut it. Once men hear how important vitamin K2 is, the next question always comes fast. Doc, can I just get it from food? Fair question. And I usually smile, because we've all been told that eating a balanced diet should cover everything. But with K2, that's just not the case. C. K2 isn't like vitamin C or D. You can't just eat an orange or step in the sun and call it a day. It's rare, especially in the typical Western diet. The richest source? A Japanese dish called natto, a sticky, fermented soybean food with a taste and smell that, let's just say, isn't for everyone. Honestly, I can't stomach it myself. You'll also find K2 in things like grass-fed organ meats, like goose liver, and certain aged cheeses like Gouda and Edam. But let's be real, you'd have to eat a lot of those foods regularly, and most men just don't. That's why I usually recommend a high-quality K2 supplement, especially the MK7 form. It absorbs better and stays in your system longer. I also pair it with vitamin D3 to help calcium move into bones, not arteries, and sometimes magnesium to further support heart health. It's a small, simple change, but one of the most powerful steps a man over 60 can take to boost blood flow, energy, and confidence. Now, of course, no vitamin works in isolation. And this next part? This is where everything comes together, because restoring circulation isn't just about arteries or blood. It's about reclaiming the fire inside body, energy, and mind. Let me show you how that transformation actually feels. Asterisk 6. The bigger picture: reclaiming your vitality and intimacy. When I sit down with men in their 60s and beyond, a pattern becomes clear almost immediately. They're not just worried about energy or circulation, or even bedroom performance. What they're really longing for, often without saying it out loud, is a feeling they haven't had in years. That deep sense of being alive, present, powerful. Of feeling like themselves again. Because when blood flow slows, when your body stops responding the way it used to, when intimacy starts to fade, it doesn't just affect your physical health, it chips away at your identity. I've heard it in the voices of men who've built businesses, raised families, led teams, fought fires, and held it all together. Men who still have the drive, the intelligence, and the will, but feel like something inside has gone quiet. That's why this isn't just about circulation. It's about restoring confidence, rebuilding presence, reclaiming your strength. It all starts by giving your body what it actually needs, not synthetic shortcuts or band-aids, but targeted, natural support. When you fuel your cardiovascular system with what it's been lacking, K2, D3, magnesium, you're not just helping your arteries. You're recharging the systems that power your energy, your focus, your desire, and your sense of self. I've seen men go from frustrated and fatigued to fully engaged, not because they found a miracle, but because they gave their body permission to heal deeply and naturally. They stopped chasing symptoms and started rebuilding their foundation. And when that shift happens, everything changes. You walk differently. You look at your partner differently. You stop avoiding the mirror. And for the first time in a long time, you feel like you again. Now that you understand why this transformation matters, let me show you how the simple daily routine I give to my private patients to restore blood flow, performance, and vitality from the inside out. 7. Motivational close. The fire isn't gone. If you hear nothing else today, hear this. The fire inside you is not gone. It may feel dim. It may feel buried. But it is not gone. You are not broken. You are not past your prime. You might just be under-supported nutritionally, emotionally, physically. And that is something we can fix. I've sat across from men who had nearly given up, men who hadn't felt intimacy in years, men who silently feared they'd never feel truly alive again. But when we identified what was actually missing, blood flow, key nutrients, daily habits, something shifted. Not just in their body, but in their spirit. You were made for more than just getting by. You deserve to wake up feeling strong, to fall asleep feeling connected, to walk into any room with quiet, powerful confidence, knowing your best. Years didn't end at 50. They're still being written. And no, it's not too late. You don't need extreme treatments. You need smart, consistent steps that work with your body, not against it. Just like a fire needs oxygen and fuel, your body needs circulation, nutrients, and care. When you finally give it what it's been missing, it responds. It always does. You might not feel 25 again, but you can feel clearer, stronger, and more connected than you have in years. So now, let me walk you through the exact doctor-recommended daily routine I give my patients. The one that ties it all together and helps men like you rebuild circulation, improve intimacy, and feel like themselves again. This is where everything starts to change. Asterisk, if you've made it to the end of this video, it means something inside you is still burning, still searching, still fighting for clarity, for answers, for hope. And I want you to know that matters, because today wasn't just about a vitamin. It was about a deeper truth, that poor circulation, low energy, and fading intimacy aren't just part of getting older. They're signals. Your body is speaking. And it's not asking for more meds or another prescription. It's asking for balance. For the nutrients it's been quietly missing, like vitamin K2, that help your arteries stay flexible, keep your blood flowing, and support lasting, natural performance where it matters most. You've heard the science. You've listened to Mark's story. You've seen how common medications, nutrient gaps, and even daily habits can slowly drain your vitality. But you've also seen the way forward, a path that's simple, backed by science, and rooted in working with your body instead of against it. I've watched men rebuild their strength, their relationships, their self-respect, not with quick fixes, but through consistent, natural care. And I truly believe you can too. You're not too late. You're not too far gone. You're just one smart step away from feeling like the man you used to be. And maybe, just maybe, stronger than ever. If this video helped you understand your body better, if it sparked hope, clarity, or a new sense of control over your health, then I'd be honored if you'd support this message. Click the like button so other men like you can find it. Share it with a friend, a brother, a father, anyone who needs to hear that it's not too late to feel alive again. and drop a comment below. Even just a simple one to let me know you're here, you're listening, and you're ready for change. I read every single one. If you'd like to support more science-backed content like this for men over 60, you can donate using the link below. Every contribution goes directly toward creating real solutions for real men, not sponsored gimmicks or flashy fads. Your support truly means the world, and it helps me keep showing up so you don't have to walk this journey alone. Let's keep building this path back to strength, connection, and confidence together.